Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. Okay, so what we do on, what we do on Fridays. Well, normally we have a podcast episode on Fridays, but this time we're going through my monthly figures. How was the month of April? I actually think it was a really good month and some great takeaways, some really is. This is why I love doing this podcast. I love doing this podcast because it keeps me accountable. I have to look at the figures to do this podcast. I have to go through the figures. And because I go through the figures and I see some things, I take aways and I adjust, I reiterate, and we improve and we make more money. So that's what it's all about. And so, yes, I kind of do this podcast for you guys, but ultimately I do it for myself because I love documenting the process and how we're doing. Okay, so the amount of quotes, I've got to underline, this is just now for Willoughby. So this isn't for Clough Road. I don't have the data as yet. Storer provide the data in a different way, different format, and we don't have as much data points from Storer for Clough Road as we do for our other sites, which is a Space Manager site. However, Storer will get to that point, but at the minute, I just can't give you the data that we've got. So when I say the amount of quotes here, it's going to look like the amount of quotes is less, and the amount of quotes is less. So because before, every single whole quote was going to Willoughby, but now it's filtering through. So there's Willoughby and Clough Road. So depending where your postcode is, you will get filtered to one of the two sites, which makes perfect sense. And what that has done, the quotes have been halved, basically, because half goes to Willoughby and half goes to Clough Road, but the conversion rates are a lot better. And the reason why the conversion rates are a lot better is, like I've spoke about before, it's because that before I wasn't losing customers because of location. Location is key when we're trying to find when customers are trying to find a self-storage facility. So I'm not losing anybody from location because anywhere in Hull you either go to Clough Road or you go to Willoughby. So therefore conversions are higher because they're closer. Before, if you was in the other part of Hull where Clough Road is, you wouldn't necessarily go across to Willoughby because it'd be just too far. And so maybe Armadillo might be the perfect site for you guys. I'm going to have to pause it because I have someone on my drive and I believe they're picking something up. So I won't be a second. I'm back. Hope you missed me. Actually, it's just literally a second for you guys. So basically, the conversions will go up because before we was losing people from location point of view, because if it was the other side of Hull, then they would never, ever choose us. So therefore, we was losing, even though it was counting as quotes, we could never really convert them because there was the other side of Hull and there was never, ever going to really transfer across or travel across from Hull. So the conversion rates are shooting through the roof. That is the biggest takeaway for having two sites in the city, one either side, is the fundamental fact is that we're not losing anybody because of a location. So you get price conscious customers, location conscious customers, and quality conscious customers. And we're not losing anybody because of location now. So that trumps, that's massive. So let's go through the figures then. So 143 quotes last month, which was an average of 4.77 quotes per day, which is really, really good. Number of reservations, check this out, 56. So that is brilliant. So quotes to reservations is a conversion rate of 43%. 43%, it is wonderful. Move-ins, how many move-ins? This is why I get confused because there was a part. We had 46 move-ins last month as well. So 46 move-ins, that means the conversion rate from quotes to reservations is 32%. So again, wonderful. Anything above 25% on that criteria is brilliant. So the fact that we're getting 32%, 32.17% is great. Cancelled reservations and expired reservations, we are getting better, but it's above 10%. Basically, it's 8.93% for cancelled reservations, 1.79% for expired reservations. So totally that's 9, that's just over 10. So 10.6, somewhere, 10.7. So we want to be under 10%. I mean, according to the big boys, it's 30%, but I don't like that. We have little bits and bobs to keep, little things that we do to try and keep in touch with a customer when after they reserve. We make sure we email them the week before and stuff, just to keep them warm because we don't want just to expire or just cancel from us. Right, okay, so marketing. Where did our quotes come from? I'm glad you asked. This, for me, is you need to know where your quotes come from. You don't know where your quotes come from, you really are betting blind, backing blind, batting blind, whichever way you want to put it. So marketing, Google was 80 quotes. That was 56%. What was our Google spend, by the way? Fuck me, Jesus Christ. I'll get to that in a second. That's the first time I've seen that. I think I've overlooked it. I see the £500, £500, £500, £500 come out, but fuck, what a poor poor month for Google ad spend, really poor. However, I don't know. I'll get to that in a second. Right, so Google ad spend, 56% of our quotes came from Google. That was 23 move-ins for 1,870 square foot. So that is 50% of our move-ins came from Google, and 51% of our square foot came from Google. Word of mouth was 17. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Social media. I don't get anybody who says social media marketing works for self-storage. It's a branding exercise. It really is. You're hitting cold leads. It would cost you a fortune for social media marketing to work. And I've got 5 years of data to prove this. And we've actually spent loads of money on social media marketing as well. And I just don't get it. If anybody can actually prove fundamentally, have something tangible where they can show me, I just don't believe you have. I don't believe any self-storage has got anything tangible to say that social media marketing works. I know there's a place in America, I'm in a mastermind in America, and they're convinced social media marketing, he says it all the time, he says it works. I have never seen any data, I've never seen any figures, he just says it works. And I don't, people aren't lying, but I believe people are interpreting the data incorrectly. Or maybe I am. Maybe we're just we're definitely not poor at social media marketing, because I've done Facebook ads for years on other things. So, and we're going to be doing social media marketing as well for something else I'm setting up. But yeah, it's my little pet hate when I hear people talking about social media and how powerful it is for self-storage. No, horses for courses. There has to be an intent for self-storage. And other industries, yeah, social media marketing is absolutely popping. I listen to all podcasts regarding marketing. I love marketing. TikTok is wonderful for social media marketing, for marketing at the minute. It is banging. But for self-storage, it's just not working. It just don't work. Well, in my humble opinion, from the data I've got, I don't believe it works. And if anybody's got any tangible evidence out there to prove it does work, I would love to see it, because do you know what? It's all about strong opinions, but very, very loosely held, because we've all got to be open to change our minds. That's how we improve, because if we all just stick in our mindset that we're in and our opinions, then we never, ever change. And life in business is all about changing and rolling with the times. So I would love to see any data suggesting it works. Okay, word of mouth was 17 inquiries. That's 12% of our overall inquiries. However, it was just 9% of our overall move-ins and 10% of our square footage. Signs was 35 inquiries. That was 24% of our overall inquiries. And it was 26% of our overall move-ins and 27% of our overall square foot moved in. Belvedere 24, interestingly, Belvedere 24 was 3% of our overall inquiries, but it was 9% of our overall move-ins and 6% of our overall square foot moved in. Very interesting that. Used before is 1% of our overall inquiries. However, it was 4% of our overall move-ins and 3% of our overall square foot moved in. Social media was 0. And I've got a note here, 3 other inquiries, 1 referred from Clough Road, interestingly, 2 removals and 1 other removal referral. Okay. Yeah, so I don't really understand that. But anyway, right, Google ads spend for the month. We spent £5,058.38 on Google ad spend. What? How do you get £5,058.38? Normally they charge you every £500. So I don't know how we're getting to that figure. Anyway, I'll ask a question. And that was an holy moly, average actual cost of advertising for Google this month per move-in was £219.93. That is the worst we've ever had in terms of results for pay-per-clicks. The worst we've ever had. I believe it's the worst we've ever had. Not 100%, but I don't think I've ever seen figures like that before, which is, we've got to question that now, because that is terrible. Actual cost of advertising this month per square foot for move-ins is £2.71. Again, without doubt, that figure there is worse than the other previous figures. Now, there's a potential. It's because we've got 2 sites, and so we've got a new site, but then it's not going to get any more Google searches for Hull self-storage, Hull's what is it? Hull self-storage, self-storage Hull, storage Hull, Hulls, I don't know, whatever it is, the different iterations that we've got. It won't increase the traffic. So I've got no idea why that is so much. There's 2 things I've got a question here. Just write it down. PPC cost, PPC, PPC move in. Sorry, I know it's exactly awesome podcasting, and entertainment. But if I don't write it down, I will definitely forget. Right. So number of move-ins. We had 46 move-ins, as we said. New square foot moved in was 3,650. However, we took in total, because people taking extra rooms, etc., 4,820 square foot, and we had a total of square foot moved out of 4,135. So our net result was 685 square foot up. Not amazing, not bad. Just, I would say it's par. The one big takeaway is that our churn rate is going down. Our churn rate is finally starting to turn the corner and go down, which is fantastic. It's brilliant. And I'll get into that, by the way, later on, because I want to tell you about the churn rate and show you exactly how it's gone down and I just want to go through a bit of data with you. So the amount of rooms moved in was 56. Amount of rooms moved out was 45. So net for the month was 11. That's 369 total internal rooms occupied. Containers in 5, containers out 6. So we got -1. So net position was -1. We've got 41 containers rented out in a minute. 7 car parking spaces. Total square foot occupied. Now this one is incredibly interesting. It's 32,220 square foot occupied at the month's end. That was the end of April. And obviously we are up in May at the minute. And again, I'm going to go through some data as well to tell you exactly where was the height of a pandemic, where our square footage was and where it is now. How does it compare? So I'll go through that later on. Lock sales, we had 27 locks. That's 59%. That is pathetic. That is really, really bad. Sorry, team. But we're not good at that. We are good at that at all. That is one area where we can definitely improve. We suck at selling locks, and maybe it's always my fault. Everything's always my fault because I set the tone, I set the agenda, and ultimately I just look at it as it's not massive money, which I shouldn't do for lock sales. So I never really ask the question, never really push it, and hence that what gets measured gets improved. And because I've never really set it aside and said, look, let's measure this, let's look into this, it's never ever really been particularly good. I know people who are hitting 85%, 90% on lock sales. So you know, I am going to mention that because we should be lock sales. I know it's only a little bit of money, but we are leaving money on the table. So I will question that. Okay. True period revenue, the total was £71,478.25. The actual revenue that we took, this is including VAT, was £88,653.82. Don't forget that 2 period revenue doesn't include that £71,478. That doesn't include any VAT, so that's where the jump is. We still did very, very well on the revenue side of it, and I'll go into that as well later. So the amount of insurance sold was £249,000, so nearly £250,000, and that meant that the average per move-in was £5,413, which was pretty good. Number of times the van was renting out. Don't forget, we've got rid of a transit now. 18 times for the transit, 26 times for the Luton. So that is £1,710 with total revenue. So we are making money on that, which is nice. Let's have a look. Monthly reports. I'm going to get this up, and I'm also going to, while that's loading, I'm going to James, see if I can search him and get the revenue figures, because this is quite interesting. James at store. The reason I couldn't get this up and running because I needed the figures come through on an email, so I needed that email up. Store more. Here we go. Prices. Last week of prices video. I need to Need to do that. Okay, sponsorship. Clough Road revenue. No, that's not it. Revenue check. Phew, I found it. Right, so Stormore, true period revenue suggested, including VAT, that we should have took £83,654.70. As you know, we actually took £88,653.82. Now, there is a caveat in here because British Heart Foundation actually paid, because it looks on the face of it that it was a positive £4,999.12. But the caveat is that British Heart Foundation actually paid £9,000 up front. So we're actually below the true period revenue figure, but that's okay because it's all about an average and we've been up for the past few months anyway. So yeah, very interesting there. So hopefully this month in May, we will take more than the true period revenue suggests. Beverley, true period revenue is £14,582.53. The actual revenue was £13,896.32. So we are negative £686.21. But again, we've been always up on that one. So it's not concerning whatsoever. Right, the churn rate. Let's have a look at the churn rate. This for me is fascinating. I've only looked at this on my mobile phone. It was a bit hard to read on the mobile. I've got so many tabs and I've got so much stuff. Right, so don't forget, when I say we're 82% full at the minute, we've added 2 containers up there. So that dilutes the percentage somewhat because we've got more square footage to go at. So yes, we're 82% full. We have been 91% full previously. I'll get to that in a minute, but that was we've added new containers and stuff since then. So that's why the percentage is lower at the minute. Right, the churn rate. Right, the churn rate, interestingly, so there's 2 ways to look at churn rate. There's churn rate based on square footage and there's churn rate based on rooms. I believe the industry standard is churn rate based on rooms, but I could be wrong. But I think the best thing to do is churn rate based on square footage because ultimately it's square foot that counts into it. But then equally, you could make 25. If you're based on rooms, you're saying that they've got the same value, a 25 square foot as a 200 square foot. But then the argument for the other way is that you want to know how many actual customers are churning because it's the customers that you could be annoying because of price increase and stuff. And therefore, so for me, it's better to look at both. Right. So the churn rate based on rooms is 12.43%. So round it down 12%. The last time we was at 12% was under 12% was in May last year. So it's been a year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11. This month is the best we've ever had. Best we've had for 11 months. Now, interestingly, it could be the time of the year because obviously April last year was 11.52%. May was 11%. So it could be the time of the year that we don't get many move outs and the churn rate is lower at this time of the year. However, I'm very, very much happy with the churn rate because last month was 16%. The previous month was 14%. Then it was 17. Then it was 18. And it was 20. Then it was 26. 26, holy shit. Then it was 20, then it was 21. So to have a month where we're 12.43, so 12% based on rooms is quite outstanding. Based on square footage, we're 13% our churn rate. Last month was 15, the previous month was 14, the previous month was 17, 17, 20, 24, 18, 17, 14, 14. And there we go. Yeah, it's the best for 11 months again. So really, really happy with that. Okay, on to square footage, which I wanted to talk to you about. How long have we been going for? 20 bloody minutes. Bloody hell, mate. You can talk. You can talk, mate. Right. So the height of a pandemic, well, not the height of a pandemic, but in the pandemic, June 21, we were, how does it moving compare? So the last few months, so let's have a look. April last year, April to April. Yeah, so April 21, we moved in 4,755. April this year, we moved in 4,820. So it's literally 65 more, 65 square foot more, which is incredible. The comparison that is so similar. So that's very much interesting. Let's have a look. What else we can tell you from this data? Oh yeah, right. So in height of pandemic, we had square footage to actually occupied was 33,260. Do you know what? The reason I'm stuttering a little bit now is because my family's just come back from my mum's house after tea, and I've left the door open stupidly. I didn't expect them back at this time, so I can hear my wife going shh, shh to the kids, and I'm like, trying to concentrate at the same time. But it's my fault to left the bloody door open. Right. They've gone now anyway. So the height of the pandemic, our occupancy was 33,260. Where is my phone? So 33,260. Oh, I've just got a text from a guy called Dave. I ain't spoke to him in a little bit. That's going to be interesting. 33, top block, by the way, top block. 33,260. Take away what the occupancy is now, which is 32,220. That means that we're only 1,040 square foot off when we was 91% full. That is incredible. So really, really happy with that. And I'll just tell you where we are now for the month. I think we're about 400 square foot up for the month. Let's have a look. Just getting emails from today. Here we go. Clough Road. No, Willoughby. We're 360 square foot up. So take away 360. So we're literally 680 square foot off being the fullest we've ever been. The most square foot we've ever occupied, which is tremendous. It's awesome. So I just want to get to that point again. But obviously being the summer and coming up to the summer, we should smash that point, which would be absolutely lovely. It'd be interesting how much revenue was actually taken in that point, because I do think our revenue, the problem is that we dropped our prices when we were losing square foot. Dropping your prices, you've got to be so careful when you do that, because it really does impact on your revenue. And occupancy is just a vanity metrics, and the revenue is the only thing that really matters. And obviously when you drop it, your prices, then you feel better because you're getting fuller again, but ultimately you're not getting people in at the correct price. So you've got to be very, very careful and mindful of when you drop the prices, how that affects your business, how that affects your revenue. So I don't think I have anything more to show you. Is there any other things I can show you here? Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll have a look at the revenue, what our revenue was at the best. So here we go. 33,000. As you know, I've got data for absolutely bloody everything. So June 21, our revenue was, all right, yeah. So our revenue was 69,676,020, and that was in June. But I believe that was because, how many days does June have? I don't even know how many days months have. July has 31. June must have 30. Yeah, June has 30. Clever boy, Dean. So that does impact you. I mean, on a daily basis, it's like $3,000, so, or 2,000 something. So it affects it. So May this time last year, April, we was taking £57,883 on true period revenue. Now we're taking nearly 72,000. So it's a big increase from last year. In July, we took on true paid revenue £75,594. So and August it was £76,355 on true paid revenue. So we've got to get back to them figures. 76,000. That's where we want to be, and we surely can't be too far away from that. And then we had a big drop off in September because we lost square footage, and then a little mini revival in October. 73,000, 71,000 November, 73,000 December, 73,000 in January, 65,000 in February, 71 in March, and 70,000 in April. 70,000. That is rubbish compared to, well, it's good compared to where it was. We're what, 12 grand higher than this time last year in money. And don't forget, I dropped straight to bottom line. So yeah, this time next year, I want to get that elusive £1 million site. That's what I keep saying to the team. We've got to, there's the goal. Around about 84,000, 83,000 takings per month is the goal. I think it's £83,333. Let's just make sure I've got that absolutely correct. I'm pretty certain I do, divided by 12. Yeah, so we've got to take £83,333 true period revenue, that's ex-VAT, to get to that £1 million site. Honestly, I said to the wife, that is been an ambition of mine for a long, long time. Ever since I read Storage King in the Self Storage magazine before it was locked. I read Storage King, took over this site in Doncaster, and they quickly increased insurance, increased the prices, and increased the site from maybe a £600,000 store to £1 million site within 12 months or 18 months, something like that. I was like, right, I've got to do that. And that was many, 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 many years ago. That was probably 8 years ago. And so it's always been my ambition to have £1 million site. and we're so bloody close. I mean, we do sublet part of a building, which is 24 grand a year. So I can add that on if I really need to. But yes, I really need to get to 81,000 really. But it'd be nice to do it just through self-storage instead of obviously subletting part of a building to a gymnastic place. Anyway, that's where we find ourselves, guys. I think I've told you absolutely everything. I can't think of anything else that I can actually share with you. Let's have a look if there's square footage. Will it be graph? Revenue. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll have a look at locks. Do you know what I'm doing now? I'm just biding my time because if I go inside right now, then I've got to help bath the kids and stuff like that. So, you know, I'd rather talk to you guys. Nobody tell the wife. Nobody tell the wife. Let's have a look. So lock sales. Let's have a look at this. Number of locks sold. Here we go. Right. So number of locks sold. We sold March 22, April 22, April 10. Just 1 second. Average sales per moving. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Right. So we sold 27 locks. So since December 20, we had a conversion rate of 85% on move-ins to selling locks. Now, and then it was 44%, 67%, 50, 52, 59, 57, 54, 64. We've never really, November 21, we hit 68%. Then it was down to 53%, then 58%, then 52%, 69%, and then down to 58.70, so 59%. So we've never really established ourselves in the lock market. So we'll have to have a look at that, see if we can improve it in some way, shape, or form, because it'd be nice. It'd be nice. More money, the better, obviously. Right, guys, I think that's all I can get away with. I better go and help Claire bath for kids, and I will see you on Monday. And by the way, I've done a podcast episode every single day this week. Let me know if this is something that interests you, because I've got so much shit to talk to you about, so much stuff from most of my time is spent educating myself through business books or listening to business podcasts. So I've got so many takeaways that I can share with you guys. I can put extra podcast episodes in. I can easily do 5 episodes per week. Let me know. deanbeauty@icloud.com, or hit me up on LinkedIn and just say yes or no if you'd like an extra episode a week, because we're already doing 4 now, and I really enjoy it. As you can tell, I really genuinely enjoy it. I think it's great, and it's I ain't even bothered about if you ask the sponsors, I'm not bothered. I got to get more professional outside of it, because I could be in like 4 grand a month, 5 grand a month, 6 grand a month, and I've got money just sat there. And I just love doing it. So I want to get across it. It's nothing to do with money, because to be quite honest and open, that I could earn more money by going out looking at sites and then selling potential sites to people and saying, look, I've got this great site here. I can't afford to do it at the minute. I'm too over leveraged. So therefore, do you want to buy that potential site off me? Here's all the reports I've done on it and everything. What is it called? The Americans call it? Anyway, that report the Americans call. Oh, bloody hell, forgotten. So I could easily do that, but I just enjoy doing this. I enjoy documenting everything in the journey and stuff. So, and sharing all my, I was going to say wisdom, sharing all my wisdom with you guys, because it's just something that I love learning and educating myself as much as possible. And the great thing is it compounds over time. So say you take away one thing from listening to a podcast, you can then put that in the business, and then that compounds over time. It starts earning money straight away over time. So yeah, I love trying to learn and better myself. And if I can share any back part of my journey with you guys, and yeah, so let me know, hit me up. All right, guys, I better go back for kids. See ya, bye.